Hello everyone, today we're going to learn Daily Tanya for Tesvav, Nissan, Chag HaPesach, Chag HaMatzos, Tavshin Pei Daled. And we learned previously about how it is important to always put Yira first. Before your Ava, before your desire to draw close to Hashem, it's very important to put your Yira first. Understand, you and Hashem are very separate things. We're very separate things. Our relationship to Hashem is first and foremost as a slave to a master. Our worth before Hashem is only in what He wills our worth to be. We as beings are not anything when compared to Hashem. And He's going to talk about that more here. והנה אף גם מי שבמוחו ומחשבתו אינו מרגיש שום יראה ובושת מפני פחיתות ערך נפשו ממקור חוצבה. ממדרגות תחתונות דיוד ספירות דעשייה. Okay, so let's try to parse the sentence. And והנה אף מי שבמוחו ומחשבתו. So even somebody who in his mind and his thoughts אינו מרגיש שום יראה ובושת, does not feel any shame or awe מפני פחיתות ערך נפשו, because of the lowliness of the value of his soul, ממקור חוצבה, as in that the source of his soul is from a lower place, from the lower parts of the 10 spheres in Asiya, which are sort of the lowest place where Hashem's will manifests. Even so, because he intends with his avodah, with his service, to serve the king, this is full, complete service. This service is valid. Because the yira, the awe, the commandment to be in awe and to fear God, and the service of Hashem are two different mitzvahs. And they do not, they're not strongly coupled. And moreover, he really does mekayem gam mitzvat yira. He does fulfill the mitzvah of yira, the commandment to fear Hashem, in the fact that he brings upon himself this awe in his thoughts. Because in that moment, al kol panim mora shamayim alav. Because in that moment, the awe of Hashem is upon him. When he's thinking that he ought to have awe of Hashem, that when he understands that there is a king in front of him who he must serve, he does have that awe, at least in the moment. As in the same way that a flesh and blood person, normal person, a subject, in the way that he feels before the king, while the king is looking at him, and therefore he prevents himself, he doesn't do something which would not be to the king's liking while the king is looking at him. And this is called yira. This is a fulfillment of the mitzvah. As Rabban Yochanan ben Zakkai said, Talmidav, to his students, Yehi Ratzon, may it be willed by Hashem, Sheyeh Mora Shamayim Alechem, that the fear of God should be upon you, Kemora Basar V'Dam, as is the fear of flesh and blood. V'chulei. Tedu K'shadam Over Avera, Omer Shelo Yirani Adam, because in the sense that you should know that Hashem is always watching, and you should be just as afraid of Hashem's gaze as you are of man's gaze. But that this fear is called a lower fear, but a fear of sin, which is the gateway to wisdom, which precedes wisdom. But a higher fear, a higher awe, is shame at one's insufficiency before Hashem. The itira, because there's fear, as it says in the Zohar. Aval bli raklal, but without awe or any kind of fear at all, lo parcha le'ela be'ava levada. The avodah cannot fully ascend to its proper place to where it belongs in the higher worlds, as we discussed earlier, just with love alone. לא, אבל בלי יראה כלל, without fear at all, לא פרחה לאלה באהבה לבדה. It cannot ascend to its proper place with only ava, with only love, with only the desire to draw close to Hashem. כמו שהעוף אינו יכול לפרוח בכנף אחד, just as a bird cannot fly with one wing. דדחילו ורחימו, because love and fear, love and awe, הן תרין גדפין, are two wings. כמו שכתוב בתיקונים, as is brought in the Zohar, as we said many times before. וכן היראה לבדה, and so awe alone, היא כנף אחד, is but a single wing, ולא פרחה לאלה. And it does not fly, and it does not fly up. In other words, even though we said that the worship is whole and complete with only yira, with only awe, with only fear, it's still important to understand that without love, it still doesn't ascend to its proper place. אף שנקראת עבודת עבד, even though it is called the service of a slave, וצריך להיות גם כן מבחינת בן, and one also has to think of himself like the son of Hashem, not merely the slave. לעורר האהבה, to awaken the love that is natural, הטבעית. על כל פנים המסותרת בליבו, which is hidden and tucked away in his heart. שתהא בהתגלות מוחו, על כל פנים, לזכור אהבתו להשם אחד, במחשבתו וברצונו לדבקה בו יתברך. In other words, one must awaken the natural love that one has in his heart for Hashem, to awaken it as in to focus on it in his mind. Even though it's in his heart, one must focus on it in his mind. וזאת תהיה כוונתו בעסק התורה או המצווה. And this will be his intention when he learns Torah or does a mitzvah, הזו. לדבקה בו נפשו האלוקית והחיונית ולבושיהם כנ"ל. To cleave to Hashem and to draw near to Hashem, one's divine spark within him, as well as one's animal soul, one's vital soul, and their expressions. And so that's it for today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Chag Sameach.